Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nyjah. So I'm really excited about today's video because I'm going to share with you guys a divination tool I recently, taught myself or kind of tapped into by coincidence. And it's really been insightful, so I wanted to share it with you guys today. And that divination tool is automatic typing. So I know a lot of you guys might have heard of like automatic writing, which is essentially a very similar, if not the same thing, only typing. You can use a typewriter or your keyboard on your laptop. Yeah, so I actually I started out learning how to do automatic writing. And for those of you guys who are not familiar, essentially you can channel spirits, your ancestors, angels. Basically you can just channel through the form of automatic writing. Automatic writing is when you allow your subconscious mind to flow and allow those channels to be opened up, and you begin to receive messages that are not necessarily from yourself, but they could be from, again, source, ancestors, angels, spirits, however you want to channel or whoever you want to channel. So yeah, automatic writing is obviously using pen and paper. This is actually one of the earliest forms of, well, obviously when writing was a thing, because obviously we didn't always have writing, but when we did have language and did have writing, this was one of the very first ways that people began to channel or receive those messages in written form. So, and you know, like I guess in nomadic times, the first form of divination would be obviously allowing that spirit to come into you, and then you kind of animate your body as if you are the spirit. Well, this is kind of taking it to you know, it's a little bit different. You're just allowing, you know, the energy to either, you know, write for you, move for you, contact from your physical hand for you, or you are taking the information, the knowledge, and translating it into written form. So that is automatic writing. You guys can do your own research, but it is, again, a way to open up and to channel. So automatic typing is extremely similar. You're allowing your subconscious to kind of flow. You might be able to pick up channeled messages from angels, guides, ancestors, helpers. Whenever I do automatic typing, I'm typically trying to tap into my subconscious mind so that I can communicate with my higher self, because lately I've just been really trying to sponge up as much information and extract as much information out of myself, because we have all the information and all the answers that are required for our own lives. Okay, so that's why I find automatic typing so incredibly useful and helpful whenever I, you know, have a question that I want answered, or I'm trying to get insight on what I should do next. You can either go in meditation, or you can try automatic typing and just see what comes out, and just keep typing and just keep listening and seeing what messages you're gonna get. So for today's video, I actually pulled out my laptop for you guys. I did an automatic typing session, and I wanted to, I guess, share some of the channeled messages that came forward for me when I personally started to, you know, tap into automatic typing. So here we go. I'm obviously not going to read all of it because it is a little bit, you know, like this is literally straight from my brain, and from the channels and from my angels, guides, ancestors, higher self. But there were a lot of profound things that I were typing out, and I knew that didn't come from me, and which is why I knew I was channeling, which got me excited in the process of channeling, because I was like, I have to share this with you guys. Okay, so let me read out some of the things that I wrote. And this is kind of how I got started. I just opened up I had a Google Docs open on my computer, and I kind of started off, and I was reading. It said, Nyjah, you are loved. Remember when you were a little girl and you liked the book Wait Till Helen Comes? So in the beginning, I'm kind of just like talking to myself. These are literally just the thoughts that were popping up in my head. And when I say automatic typing, you literally, the key is to keep your fingers moving, keep your fingers moving, keep your fingers moving. Anything that you think about, you want to write it down, because eventually it's not going to be your ego mind or your conscious mind that is delivering the messages. Eventually you're going to get into this kind of trance like sweet spot where your fingers are moving and you're not consciously aware of what you're typing, but the words pop up on the screen. You're like, oh, that came out. Oh, I said that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. You don't really, you would think that you know what you're going to say and what you're going to come up with, but anyway, so this is what came out. So so the question that popped up in my reading was, what are you telling the light codes to do when you're in the sun? So while I was typing this, I was outside sunbathing, and the kind of download that I received was, what are you telling the light codes to do when you're in the sun? And I was like, I didn't come up with that question, so I must be channeling. So I'm gonna keep going. So I said, I can't wait for what? 44. What is 44? Life path 44. 44 means life path. Nyjah, you are fun, you are amazing, you are sophisticated, you are sexy. Again, these affirmations just started coming out. I guess my subconscious mind wants me to start incorporating these things to tell myself, and also maybe if I was communicating with my higher self, angels, guides, and ancestors, they wanted to make sure that I remembered that. So subconsciously, it kind of flew out and I wrote it down. Let's keep going. So it says, people love being around you. You are such a light in perfect harmony. Harmony is 44. Harmony doesn't mean it's perfect or even simply just livable. Harmony means no attachment to physical things. You have to tell the light codes what you have to tell the light codes, and then I kind of stopped in the middle, and then I said it's 441 because for some reason the number 44 has been popping up everywhere for me in my head. I guess subconsciously they wanted me to break down the number 44, but let's keep going. It says, you have to tell the light codes what to do, or rather what you need for healing. And I thought that was super profound. So I'm somebody who, and if you watch that video about me sun gazing, I like to sun gaze when it's a nice day. I like to be out in the sun. I like to have my skin exposed. I like to soak up the sun and soak up the knowledge. Well, what a lot of people don't know is that you are actually restoring yourself and healing yourself on a cellular level, and also you are able to receive codes, something called light codes, which is the purest form of communication to the divine. So when you are underneath the sun, your body is actually able to absorb messages or codes, aka light codes. Okay, light codes just means it is a language that is not spoken the way that we can physically talk. It's a language or understanding that we can absorb, our body can absorb, our skin can absorb, and that's why it's so important for us to sun gaze, because again, we can receive messages from the divine, not necessarily from the sun, but the sun is the ultimate life source. So of course you can be receiving life force from the sun, as well as those messages and codes. So my guides were basically saying, Nyjah, when you're out in the sun, when you're sun gazing, you need to give the light codes, you need to tell the light codes what you need. So like if you're outside and you're sun gazing and you're just doing it just to do it, like that's fine and dandy, but put those codes to work. If you have a question that you need answered, pose the question and then allow yourself to absorb the information. Or you know, if there's something you're trying to meditate on, you know, tell the light codes what you're trying to meditate on and then absorb the information. So they're basically just giving me more instruction, like saying, if you're going to be sun gazing, if you're going to be absorbing light codes, tell the light codes what you need. Tell them what to do. If you're sick, tell the light codes you need healing. If you know, whatever you need, tell the light codes what you need. Put them to work because they're there, okay? So I thought that was pretty profound, and it just randomly popped up in my automatic typing. And then I said, it's wonderful, and smile, it's wonderful. The other night I had a dream. Okay, so I just was like recalling the dream for some reason, because again, I'm just subconsciously just typing and letting my fingers just do what they want and letting the messages come forward. This is another great way to just see subconsciously what kinds of things are you thinking about, you know, just monitoring yourself without judging yourself, but monitoring yourself, right? So some more things that I said was, okay, so I took the advice and I told the light codes, I said, light codes, I want you to tell me, where am I supposed to be? The light code said, here. I said, why here? They laughed and said, you've only gathered enough life experience to make it up to this point. How could you possibly want to go anywhere else but here? You created here. In your mind, to get somewhere new, you must perceive a new reality. You will know you want to be somewhere else because you will take yourself somewhere else. Yes, it is called will. Will is number 4. 44 means life path. 4 is will. Your willpower. It takes willpower to not only perceive what you want, but to bring it into reality. That takes will and willpower. You will know you are on your life path, or 44, because not because you will be there, but because you will feel when you are in alignment. I'm perfectly happy here. I'm off to set it off. I'm off to set it off. Peace, 44, high vibrations to a nurturing capacity. So yeah, I wrote a little bit more, but that's kind of, the rest that I wrote was a little bit more personal. But basically, after I told the light codes what I needed, I told them, tell me where I'm supposed to be. And then you guys heard, I got that little tidbit, like, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you were supposed to be somewhere else, you would be somewhere else. And you've only gained enough mental capacity to get you where you are now. And I was like, okay, guides are speaking, angels are speaking, higher self is speaking, because I don't talk to myself in this manner. So I just, again, so profound. So I want to ask you guys, have you ever tried automatic typing? Would you ever try automatic typing? I feel like it's like another form of meditation, where like in meditation, you kind of are passively just kind of observing and viewing your thoughts and monitoring your breath, whereas in automatic writing or automatic typing, you are consciously putting in the effort. Now, again, a lot of people will probably say automatic writing is better because pen to paper, it really does, it requires a little bit more motor skill, forcing your fingers to make those shapes and make those letters, and as you hear the messages. But again, I feel like us millennials, or us younger generation of people, I feel like we really connect to technology right now, and we really connect to, like, for some reason our fingers are just tuned in, and they can type, they know what to say, they know where to go. So yeah, it really does help you to zone out and get those messages. So I highly suggest that you guys try automatic typing. Don't even have high expectations. There's no way to do it right or wrong. The objective is to get into a passive kind of sweet spot where you're just allowing yourself to freely type whatever comes into your head. And the best bet is the first thing that pops into your head, that's what you want to go ahead and write. And sometimes for me, sometimes the first thing in my head will pop up and I won't write it down, and I'll be like, no, that's not the message. But then it'll start to repeat again and again and again and again. If you hear that message repeat again and again and again and again, even if it's something very small or minuscule, I would go ahead and write it down. Like for me, my subconscious mind in my pausing space was telling me affirmations. Nyjah, you are beautiful, you are pretty, you are talented, you are, and that's kind of what my subconscious mind started to default to when I was waiting for new messages. So I thought it was super interesting. I love it. I'm definitely going to start incorporating automatic typing into my spiritual practice, and as well as like just a daily practice to try and keep in tune. I'm also going to, of course, still journal. I love to journal. I love my journal. So this is not substituting journal for me, but this is going to be a new form of like when I need answers from the guides, or like if I don't want to do a tarot reading but I do want a quick answer, I'll just type up a little thing, ask my question, and then receive the answer. So yeah, I really love it. I hope you guys try it. If you do, comment down below. Let me know what kind of messages come through for you, and if it is helpful or insightful for you. As always, I love you guys super much, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.